Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So this is going to be update information, what's coming for April 1st, 2026. This is going to be coming live tonight in the maintenance that's going on currently right now at the time of making this video. We had a headline earlier today. There's quite a bit of stuff coming to the game. As you can see on the screen here, we'll go ahead and go through some of the update info and then through the patch notes information further in towards the end of the video too. So you can see here on the update info, we're going to be having chapter 8 of the main story. Looking forward to that. We're actually going to have some progress in the story. It seems like it's going to be pretty interesting too, going through what's going on with the Outer Realm. We got a new NPC in the game. She looks to be a Slayer themed NPC too. You can actually see her holding a gunblade in the video that they showcased for it and everything. So hoping that's going to be pretty interesting. We're also going to have a new limited time quest invasion on the Shifting Sands. It's going to be themed off of the North Desert area of the Outer Realm. And this is going to be an 8-player quest. It actually has some pretty cool little mechanics to it, like some of the sidestep mechanics and some of the different little travel mechanics and stuff like that. They've also added in a couple of new enemies. They're not really exactly new, they're just kind of like reskins, but that's cool. Like, I don't mind so much. They've redone like the Transmiser enemy and also the Gilnich enemy, and they've made them into like Starless High versions. So we have that Starless Gilnich is actually the enemy type here with a spinning helicopter head thing on it, and it looks like it will be healing the enemy still. So of course, when you see one of these, you want to try to focus these first because they will just be healing the other enemies constantly. And of course, we're also going to have some new limited time tasks for the new limited time quest too. So Slayer, one of my favorite classes in the game. I normally play Tekker now, but I still love Slayer. It's still one of my favorite classes. Slayer is actually getting an update now. They're going to be adding in some new text to it. They're going to be updating some of the power of it. So pretty happy to see this. They're actually making this new skill here with a Gunblade Focus Extra Drive. So it's going to consume 3 levels of the Gunblade Focus gauge to enhance the Relentless Blade for a set time. The Relentless Blade is like those skills wherever you do a PA with your Slayer Photon Arts and you press the normal button afterwards that has like a follow-up attack. It's actually going to be buffing that. Now they're saying that the skill is also going to do a one-time buff only for Slugshot. So Slugshot's going to get a big one-time only boost during the effect duration of this as well. And plus they're also doing like balance adjustments for Slayer and Gunblade too. So when it comes to Slugshot in particular, I'm really happy to see this because Slugshot, if y'all didn't know, like a lot of people did like the breakdown of like the frame data and everything on Slayer's like PAs and all its hits and everything, and Slugshot was actually completely like a waste of a skill tree point before. Slugshot would actually do less damage per second than if he was to just do 3 normal weapon action slashes. So that would actually do more DPS and give more PP back in the same amount of time that it took Slugshot to come out, and it was also wasting a skill tree point. So Slugshot was pretty trash before. A lot of people just don't really know that because you would think that the skill would be good. So it sounds like them improving this is actually going to make Slugshot like worthwhile for everybody to get. So I'll be getting that back on my tree again too. Hopefully, anyways. I guess we'll see how much damage it actually does in the end, but I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be pretty worthwhile to actually have that now whenever this skill's active anyways. But we're also going to be getting the new 14-star Arboredio weapon series. This is going to be the upgrade from the Leaf Dio weapon series. The Sproudio weapons under the Leaf Dio weapons are now going to be going into the Arboredios. And they look pretty good. You can see from the picture here, they're going to have like a gold aesthetic. Looks like the flowers and everything's fully bloomed on the weapons now. It looks really nice, so should be pretty pleasant looking on the eyes. You're going to get the materials that you need for farming these is of course going to be dropping inside the limited time quest. So if you have one of these weapon types and you want to upgrade into the final version of it, you're going to be getting that from the limited time quest. We're also going to have some new skill rings in the game, and some of these look pretty good. We actually have the Photon Blast amp ring that's going to be added in. And there's also a defeat amp ring that's going to be added in. The defeat amp ring is actually going off of like down factor and stuff, so that should be helping out with like down factors. There was a couple of other rings that they showed off in the headline too for like hit counts and stuff like that. So should be pretty interesting seeing some of the new rings. They've done some pretty cool changes to the UI when it comes to the item lab for like enhancing your gear and stuff. I'm a big fan of seeing this actually. So you can see that there's actually like breakdowns of like bars when it comes to like your limit break of your weapon, your enhancement of your weapon, so you can see if it's like plus 90, it's not maxed out all the way yet, right? You have this bar here missing. And same thing when it comes to like your potential being unlocked, in case if you didn't realize that you didn't max out your potential on your weapon, you'll be able to easily notice that now because you'll see these bars will have like something missing. Same thing with like the fix and so forth. So I think that's a really good change, especially for new players. This is going to kind of just jump out at you saying like, hey, you need to finish me off, you need to you need to finish this weapon up or your piece of armor or whatever you're working with. They're also going to be adding in various little like quality of life options when it comes to like sorting like your premium sets for your looks and stuff. You're going to be able to like trade those around now. You're also going to be able to add build parts and mag forms and music discs directly from your inventory. You don't have to go through like some silly like menu systems anymore. You can just highlight that inside of your inventory and just add it directly, which is pretty nice. They're also adding in a new option to hide players' accessories during victory performances. So I'm sure if you've noticed before in the victory screens, like when you defeat like certain bosses and stuff, everybody's posing. If you have somebody in there that's just like a big Chungus cast or something, has like wings and stuff all over the place, they tend to like block everybody else out of the screen, right? Well, now you'll be able to hide those accessories if you don't want to get like your character blocked out by somebody just having like, you know, some obnoxious like setup on their character or something. They're also doing a really cool change here when putting items up for sale in your personal shop. This is a nice change. We actually had this back in PSU, Phantasy Star Universe, from 20 years ago. They had this option here. Whenever you're putting up like something that's the same name, like say if you have a bunch of like, let's just say if you had a bunch of Spratio gunblades and you kept putting those up for sale and you wanted to list them off at the same price, if it's the same item, it'll keep on listing for the same price for you. That way, so it just makes like listing like the same items over and over a little bit easier. You know, it's going to use the same pricing for that. We're also getting a really cool change here for the options for the critical rate going for the DPS. So like if you use the DPS meter, there's actually going to be a critical rate display for that now too. So we'll actually, up at the top right here, you could actually see that they're able to see the critical rate along with the DPS. And you can move this like under the HP bar or down in the bottom right or whatever, wherever you want to have it. You know, they have like 3 different locations that you can put this DPS meter. So that's a cool change. It's going to be interesting to actually see what our crit rates look like. They're also going to be improving the decoys, the arcs decoys for the creative space. You'll actually be able to wield your weapons inside of there now too. If you have a weapon that you want your decoy to actually show off or whatever, you know, you'll be able to do that. It's especially useful when it comes to like some of those weapon idols, right? You'll be able to have your character like holding the weapon out. They're also adding a nice new chat command for the camos. They're going to have a change weapon camo chat command. So this is going to be /CMF followed by the name of the weapon camo, so you can actually just use text to change to various different camos if you want. That'll be pretty good for certain auto words and stuff. If you want to get like tricky with it, like certain actions that's going on in the game, you could actually switch your camo at the same time with an auto word, since this is going to be a text command type thing now. They're also making it so sorting settings for inventory and shop menus, they're saved until you close the game. They're going to be increasing the speed of the display of the chat balloons when it comes to story and chat speech, so that's always a welcome change too, in case if you're wanting to speed through the story, or if you're just a really fast reader, you can get that information thrown at you faster. But we will have the PSO2 day rolling in as well, and there's going to be, of course, a revival AC scratch coming in with that too. And they're actually reviving a camo here that a lot of people really liked before, this Yampe down here. This was actually a really expensive and very sought after camo, so that's coming in. That's going to be revived again in case if you're into those. We also have this new AC scratch, Echoes of Adola 26, coming in, and this actually looks really good. I think like the Type 1 outfit here in particular actually is the best looking one out of the whole lot in my opinion. I think the Type 1 outfit looks really good. Like Jasper's outfit here is like incredible in my opinion. So if you're a Type 1, I think you're eating pretty good this scratch. And of course, we have some pretty cute outfits when it comes to the Type 2s, of course, too. Normally, we always do. You know, some of these look quite good. You know, there's a little bit of something there for everybody, I suppose. We have a couple of emotes coming in for Idoli character 6 pose and 7 pose. And usually these are extremely good poses, too, because they'll have, like, they'll reflect your weapons and stuff, right? So those are always welcome. Looking forward to picking those up. And we're also going to be having some login build parts given to us, too. By the way, I did want to mention, if you're going to be doing any AC purchasing, I am an Epic Games partner. I do have a creator code THUNDATHIGHS, which you can use anytime that you purchase AC on the Epic Games launcher, which you can do to support me. So if you decide to use the creator code THUNDATHIGHS, thanks a lot for the support. So we'll go ahead and jump on into the rest of the update information here that they have on the patch notes. When it comes to the Slayer skill adjustments, we'll go ahead and read a bunch of this stuff off to y'all here. So the Gunblade Focus Overdrive, they're going to be increasing the potency, as well with the Unleashed Rage, they'll increase the potency. Mobile Blade increase potency. Also, when it comes to Slugshot in particular, as I mentioned earlier in the game, Slugshot was pretty booty before, so Slugshot's getting a lot of love here, so Slugshot should be actually pretty worth getting on your skill tree again if you was somebody that was skipping that like me before. They're going to be increasing the potency, they're going to relax the sidestep cancel timing of it, they're also going to extend the protection from being launched or knocked back during it, so it's basically like a super armor. They're also going to ease the hit stops when attacked by enemies while attacking, and they're also going to, the player will no longer move back when invoking against a nearby target. So that's pretty cool. Some pretty nice changes to slowed shot in particular right there. And they're also going to do some gunblade adjustments. They're increasing the potency for the first and second steps of non-charged normal gunblade attacks. They're also going to increase the potency of the first step of charged normal gunblade attacks, as well to increase the PP recovery amount for the first step of charged normal gunblade attacks, and increase the potency of the second step of charged normal gunblade attacks, and also increase the potency of the first step of the gunblade weapon action when there is no directional input. Now, when it comes to increase the potency of the first step of the gunblade weapon action when there's no weapon directional input, that's actually pretty huge, because a big part of Slayer Gunblade has been doing weapon action 1, 2, 3. So this is actually saying that the weapon action 1, 2, 3 is getting a little bit of a buff there, right? The very first hit of that is going to get increased potency. So that might end up actually still being the best rotation for Slayer, doing weapon action 1, 2, 3 in between your like PAs and stuff. So when it comes to Slayer's photon arts in particular here, you can see that they pretty much buffed the potency of all the stationary photon arts. Now that's actually pretty cool. So all of the stationary photon arts for Slayer are getting an increase in potency. When it comes to Flowing Sirius in particular, they actually did a whole lot of extra changes to it too. And when it comes to stationary Flowing Sirius, they actually did a whole lot of different changes to it as well. So this has been one of Slayer's major like DPS combos, the stationary Flowing Sirius. So this is probably still going to end up being like one of the best options when you're able to do it. They've also done some gunblade adjustments for the tech art customizations. For shifting Spica in particular, decreased PP cost for type 3, and for waving Rigel, they have, for type 3, they've increased the potency of each hit when there is no directional input. And they've also decreased the PP cost for type 3 too. Okay, and now for players, they have changed the description of the Celeste EX style to Celeste Flawless, but it's saying that nothing has been changed for the skill's behavior, so it's just basically just a naming change. They've also added some effect telegraph to the Grand Miser attacks because we're getting like that new high version, like the new Starless version of that. They've done a bit of an update to the quests and fields. They've made the following adjustments to Outer Realm Exploration, Altered Combat Line, Tundra Area Gorge. They're increasing it so the enemy levels have changed to level 115, so that place is going to be updated some. And they're also making it so the required battle power to accept the quest changed to 4712. That sounds like that's still pretty low to me, so everybody's probably going to be able to just get in there with no problem, most likely. They have also adjusted the Outer Realm Exploration and Nameless City Exploration so that only the party leader leaves when the party leader abandons the quest instead of taking the party members with them. That's actually pretty cool because usually I tend to lead parties a lot, and when I want to leave the quest, usually I just abandon, but then it yanks everybody else out in the party with me too. So now it's just going to leave them and just take me only out, which that's a nice welcome change, you know. They're also adjusting the main chapter story 7, follow-up chapter, and the stars fell so that the commemorative photo scene is not triggered after the quest clear. Character creation, they have added an option to display slider values on the customized expressions menu in the salon. Adjustment field values displayed must be turned on in the salon settings, however, so there will be like a little option there where you can turn on to see like the values for the different sliders. So maybe if you got somebody that has like a really nice face that you're asking for some like sliders from, you know, you can get the exact values now. It's gonna make like trying to copy someone else's looks really easy, or just taking a picture so you have it to reference later in case if you lose a save file or something, right? You'll have that picture to back up to go off of. Changed motion, changed specifications so that the equipped katana weapons and their weapon camos are reflected. Added an option to copy colors in the color settings menu in the salon. Oh, this is actually really huge. I'm happy to read this. So this right here is something that's really nice whenever you're wanting to copy a certain color to another like piece of gear or something, or an outfit or whatever. This, you'll be able to actually like copy the color settings now without having to remember those 3 different RGB values, right? That's really cool. I can't tell you how many times I was taking pictures of my different colors when I was in the salon so I could add it to like my innerwear or my outerwear, just whatever. All right, so we got some new item changes here. The 14-star rarity weapons, of course, is going to be in the exchange shop. They also have changed the lineup of the Arc Striker Badge Exchange camos. We have the Juvlog Almaty CV, and also several different Zover CV camos are being added in too. So color variants of all these different Zovers is being added in along with the Juvlog too. They've also added new items in the product listing of the exchange shop. Under the purchase build parts, they've changed the specifications of the item recycle so that the following items are now available for the exchange as target count bonus items. This is basically just some old items from like AC scratching. If you AC scratch and you have some of these old EX motions or whatever, you can change these in now for your bonus items. The item detail and descriptions for the following items has been changed. Skill ring enhancement, substitute 0, 1, and 3. So they've changed those. The brightness of attack visual effects for the following weapon has been adjusted. Fluxio series and also the Rinser series. I saw someone had speculated that that means that those are probably going to be reused pretty soon, since they're adjusting how these look. This is a really old weapon from base PSO2. So yeah, most likely we'll probably see a resurgence of these in the game, probably with NGS specs, whether it be like a land weapon series or maybe a camo or something. Most likely we'll be seeing something like this returning to NGS. Pretty soon, since they're updating it. Now, when it comes to other specifications and changes here, we have line strike when viewing the card details of a related card. The skill effect area displayed will now be that of the related card. In line strike, the name of the teleport skill has been changed to teleport allies. So this here is a pretty interesting change that they have to the game. This is in the other specification changes. So this one here, they actually have began trial operation of a feature that restricts gameplay content for accounts that engage in abandonment. This is intentional idling or like AFKing and quests and stuff like that. You're actually going to be able to report those people and get them temporarily banned from doing content and stuff, which is a really nice welcome change to finally see into the game. It says accounts that meet specific criteria after receiving abandonment reports from other players will be subject to these restrictions. To report abandonment, please follow the steps below. So you're going to open up your menu and communications from the main menu and select the nearby characters, and then select the relevant characters, select report this player from the miscellaneous drop down, and then from there you're going to select abandonment from the list of report categories and send. So if you report players for doing abandonment inside of the report category now, it's going to most likely lead to them getting banned from being able to do like matchmaking content for a while. It's going to punish them. It's actually going to punish people that are doing like AFK leeching and quests and stuff. So anytime you see somebody doing that, and you do know for a fact that they're like purposely leeching, try to give some people some leeway, right? If someone's like, hey, BRB in a minute, they got to use the bathroom or something, you don't have to report everybody you see. But if you think somebody's like purposely like abusing things and like just trying to leech and get like work out of everybody else's, like get like free stuff out of everybody else's work, then make sure you use the system and try to report those people. We have a confirmed issue here, a bug where weather conditions may not be displayed correctly after completing the main story for chapter 8, chasing memories. So that can actually break the game whenever you're doing the story quest. It says that they're working on a fix for it, of course. Okay, and then lastly, we're gonna have bug fixes, and there's a pretty big list of bug fixes here. We'll try to read through a bunch of this here. They fixed a bug in the damage per second DPS where the numbers were sometimes updated even after some enemies had been defeated. So that's a little bit of a change. Fixed a bug where the sound effects for the former enemies did not play correctly under certain conditions. They fixed a bug in Nameless City Exploration, Nameless City Entertainment Zone Investigation, where using the reset switches before starting the trial Star Rappy Twinkle collection sometimes caused the Rappy Twinkle to appear after the trial ended. So that has been fixed now too. They fixed a bug where the region match effects activated unintentionally in Nameless City Exploration, Nameless City Entertainment Zone Investigation. Fixed a bug that caused some of the controls and quest info to be unusable under certain conditions. They fixed a bug that caused players to be unable to add creative spaces listed under visited C spaces to their favorites when using all ship matchmaking to access creative spaces. They fixed a bug that caused the exclamation mark icon for newly added items to not appear correctly when purchasing build parts for creative space. Fixed a bug with the Braver class skill Rest Assign PP gain that prevented players from being able to use Rest Assign while their HP was full when using the special armament Mars. Fixed a bug for the Celeste EX style skill Celeste Reiteration that sometimes caused the cooldown for the Slayer class skill Gunblade Focus Overdrive to become 0 under certain conditions if the cooldown reduction effect was applied. That's just in time for the Slayer class update too, right? Fixed a bug that caused inactive extended storages to be selectable when selecting material skill rings for a skill ring enhancement. Fixed a bug with the add change effects under your augment selection, which caused the EX augment selected not to change under certain conditions. Fixed a bug that caused pack item info in the ACSG shops to not display correctly under certain conditions. Fixed a bug that caused the treasure shop to become unresponsive under certain conditions. Fixed a bug that sometimes caused the attack sound effect for some categories of weapons do not play correctly when using the weapon camo Claws Almate. Fixed a bug that prevented screen transitions in the looks menu from the salon occurring after clicking confirm once this under certain conditions. Fixed a bug that prevented motion change previews from displaying correctly under certain conditions in the salon. Fixed a bug that caused the thumbnails for the following body paints to not display correctly: Rajun Tattoo T1 and T2 and its color variations. Fixed a bug with motion changes that allow weapon reflection, where the graphics did not display correctly under certain conditions. Fixed a bug that caused the list of registered portable holograms to not display correctly under certain conditions. Fixed a bug that prevented the add and edit menus for favorite stamps from appearing under certain conditions. Fixed a bug that caused the item trader window to not display under certain conditions. Fixed a bug that prevented loadouts from being selectable when the looks that were tied to them were deleted. Fixed a bug with the Ark's decoy that sometimes prevented edits made by other players from being reflected immediately. Fixed a bug that caused the camera to not be zoomed out when starting the trial Nemesis, Carrier Destruction, and Outer Realm Exploration combat sectors, Altered Battle Line, Tundra Area Gorge. Fixed a bug that causes the previews of motion changes that allow weapon reflection to not display correctly under certain conditions. Fixed a bug that allowed expression settings for unsupported PSO2 face options to be editable for the Ark's decoy. Fixed a bug that caused some auto chats from other players to be visible even if hide was selected in other player auto chat display settings under options. I've actually heard of a lot of people talk about that, where the auto chats kept showing even though they had it off, so that's actually a really nice change to see. Fixed a bug that caused Arc Search to sometimes be selectable even when it was not usable. And lastly, fixed a bug that caused Natara's login bonus voice volume to become extremely low. Okay, and that's going to be pretty much wrapping it up for the content this week. We have a pretty big update coming in here. Next week we're going to be having Luther come in too, which is pretty cool to see. So yeah, Dark Falls Luther next week is going to be the content that we're going to be having rolling in. This week we got some pretty good changes, a lot of quality of life things going on. Really nice E3 scratch coming into the game, a lot of like really good UI improvements and just various things that we have in the game. I know I'm really looking forward to playing Slayer again. As I mentioned before, that's my favorite class. And we also have this Chapter 8 story, which looks pretty dope too, so looking forward to all of this. Gonna be wrapping it up for the video. By the way, I have been streaming on Twitch. If you want to come over there and hang out sometime, it's NiNjahCheeto on Twitch. Love to have you come over there, show me some follow love, and just hang out in the chat, say what's up, you know, love to have you. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating's always appreciated, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe for more if you haven't already. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Stay safe and have a wonderful day, friends. I'll see you all in the next one.